Hey everybody, welcome back. To those who are enjoying the Monday Night Wars again, or maybe they're just watching the reviews, it's up to you. Hit like and subscribe to my channel. I do history of wrestling videos like this every day. We're doing the second week of WCW versus WWF. Last week, Raw beat Nitro, and the first time they were head-to-head in September the 11th, 1995. 2.5 rating for WWF Raw, 2.4 rating for WCW Nitro. So the Raw won by 0.1. This week, I'm not going to make you wait. It was a little different. Nitro got a 1.9, while Raw got a 2.7. So that's a 0.8 victory for the WWF. Their second week in a row with a win. WCW Nitro came from Johnston City, Tennessee, from Freedom Hall. Again, 1.9 rating isn't very good, especially coming off Fall Brawl War Games. But it didn't last long. That's just a teaser for next week. Week 3 might tell a different story in the ratings. But for this 1.9 rated show, we'll get to the actual review of the show now. Last week I gave it a 6 out of 10. We're rating these shows out of 10 based on what the company could realistically do with 1 hour of television. So that's how I rated it. That's my system when I gave it a 6 out of 10 last week. This week I'll save the rating for the end of the review, which won't be that long. It's a 1.9 TV rating again. So it's the second loss in a row. The commentators are Eric Bischoff, Bobby Heenan, and Steve McMichael with his dog Pepe, a little chihuahua. So again, it's the Nitro after Fall Brawl, the War Games. They start with an ambulance in the back. They have the Giant laughing like a maniac with the Taskmaster talking about how Hulk Hogan's going to be done for good and how he's the Andre the Giant's son and how he's destined to kill Hulkamania. Good stuff if you like the old school heel laughing, and it was just a joke. The Giant and Big Show, I don't know how he lives with himself. I mean, that was such a bad. The acting is so bad, it's not even funny. The opening match was supposed to be the Blue Bloods versus the American Males. The American Males are Marcus Alexander Bagwell, Buff Bagwell, and Scotty Riggs. But Harlem Heat come from the back and beat up the Blue Bloods. And then the Harlem Heat, the new tag team champions, with Sister Sherry Martel, come to the ring with their belts and say that we want to title a match right now, meaning they're going to put their titles on the line. That didn't really make sense to me. And Bischoff says the Commissioner Nick Bockwinkel isn't here, but we'll see what happens. So they ring the bell, and we got a tag title match to begin. Instead, the Blue Bloods are just out of the picture, and Harlem Heat is defending their titles by choice. I guess they're fighting champions. But I guess it was Bischoff's just anything can happen on live Nitro. This match went up against Razor Ramon versus the 1-2-3 Gate, if anyone's wondering for reference sake. Riggs and Bagwell double drop kick. Stevie Ray. Booker T hit a scissors kick to Riggs, and Harlem Heat was in control for a lot of the match. Bagwell wanted the hot tag, but beat on Riggs, tagging in, and Stevie Ray cutting off the half of the ring for Harlem Heat. A lot of near falls in this match. Marcus Alexander Bagwell does get the hot tag and lands drop kick to both guys. All of a sudden, the Colonel comes from the backstage area to the apron, and Sherry is taken off the apron, and they kiss. She lands in the Colonel's hands. Booker T is go for a pump handle slam, and then was distracted by this. So Bagwell got the tights and rolled them up, and we have new tag team champions at 440. The All-American Males, Bagwell and Riggs, are the new tag team champions. I gave it a star and 3/4. Flair cut a promo about Fall Brawl, about how his match with Arn Anderson, about how he brought in an outsider in Pillman, and those are sacred rules and against the Horseman. So he's not a Horseman, so he's going to kick his ass tonight. So that's what Flair says about Arn Anderson and to Brian Pillman, his message to him for later in the night. Next, we had Paul Orndorff versus Johnny B. Bad. Johnny B. Bad had stitches in his mouth. He was in a classic match the night before at Fall Brawl, I believe, with Flying Brian. I remember it was like a 20 to 30 minute classic match in the 4-star category, just because I have a list of like 1,500 matches that are around 4 stars. So I just remembered that match. I have a big wrestling memory. It's weird. Paul Orndorff's theme, though, is even weirder, and nice segue, eh? Paul Orndorff's theme is brutal. And Eric Bischoff is even saying, cut the mic. That's awful. And I think he's being serious. So, this matchup was going against the $1 Million Corporation, Tatanka and Kama versus Savio Vega and Bob Holly. This matchup between Johnny B. Bad and Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful. So, this singles match is more compelling to me. Orndorff off the top. Johnny B. Bad rolls out of the way. Bischoff mentions that DDP is the new TV champion after beating the Renegade last night. B. Bad hits a springboard crossbody to the floor over the top rope, and then a double axe handle and a near fall reversal from Paul Orndorff's pile driver at a fast clothesline. B. Bad goes for a powerbomb and instead tries a sunset flip, but Orndorff rolls him up and pins him at 640. I rated this match star and 3/4. It was a decent match. They show WCW stars on the set of Baywatch next, Luger, Savage, and Hogan. Macho was doing bench presses. Yeah, there's a bench press machine outside on the sand. As dumb as it sounds. And Kevin Sullivan started to choke him out with the barbell. He then throws sand in his eyes. Flair and other people break off and save Savage. So next up, we got Mean Gene in an interview ring in the ring. He introduces Macho Man. Macho Man Randy Savage comes to the ring, and he said about Flair saving him from the beach. He says, don't even care, just dig it. He says, no thanks, but no thanks, Flair, don't even care, dig it. And when asked about the Taskmaster, he says, you destroy a snake by taking his head off. I can't do it very well, but that's what he said. So that's what he says he's going to do to Taskmaster. And then he says Hogan is tough and he might be resting at home after Giant interfered in his match at Fall Brawl, the War Games, and he ran over his bike. They show that later in the show, so I'll just say that and get that out of the way now. Savage says Hogan might be healing, but he is a bad judge of character, because he put Luger on the team of War Games, and Luger had a cheap shot against Savage in War Games, but Luger says it was unintentional because he comes to the ring and says that. Mean Gene said it was unintentional, but Savage is paranoid, so he's saying that he wants Luger one-on-one, and then he calls Luger not a hypocrite, but he calls him something, and because Luger has outside intentions about wanting the world title from Hogan. And Luger says, Savage, you do too. You want the world title. And Macho went, I agree with you. That's right. All that kind of stuff. So Savage and Luger both talk about how they want to be world champion. And then they talk about how they want to get it on now, but Mean Gene is like, whoa, ladies and gentlemen, we can't handle this right now. And Savage and Luger don't go at it, but it was a good segment. Then they show the bike thing with the Giant. Then they run Flair versus Flying Bride in the main event. The bell rings. Both guys tie up. They go into a chopping war. Flair and Pillman. Flair comes off the top. Pillman hits him with a missile dropkick in midair. Pillman drags him to the outside, and then on the concrete floor, he was suplexed. Flair then, with the elbow to the outside apron, elbowed him in the face. Pillman came for a reverse inside cradle, but Flying Brian kicked out. Flair strutted around some more. Pillman then reversed Nate to the corner, and he eats a boot, and then scoops Flair up on the outside, landing him on the barricade. They chop some more and come back into the ring. Flying Brian takes off from the top rope with a crossbody, but Flair had it scouted and moved out of the way. Had it scouted. Flying Brian crashed and burned as he slaps on a figure four leg lock, but countered it into an inside cradle. 2 count. Then Flair goes for a shoulder tackle, and then Pillman went down, and then more chops by Flair. At the 4-4, he grabs the leg and does an atomic drop to Pillman. Then he slaps the figure four leg lock for the win at 5:24. I rated that match 2.5 stars. Nice short little match here. Pillman gets on the mic, or Flair gets on the mic after and says, Arn, where are you? I want round 2. Flair grabs a mic on live TV. Look out. Flair says, Double A, read the sign and learn to love it. Because you, my friend, are next on Monday Night Nitro, and you'll get your ass kicked by the Nature Boy. Woo! Sorry, that Flair impression was probably bad. I think I was close on Savage. That wasn't my best Mean Gene, but that Flair one was probably bad. But nonetheless, that's what was said. Nitro, again, last week was a 2.4 on TV by just 0.1. This week they lost 0.8 because they're a 1.9 to Raw's 2.7. So 2 wins in a row by the WWF, but I rate this Nitro, again, a 6 out of 10. Just like last week, TV quality-wise, when you do 1 hour, there was new tag team champions. They went over the Hogan stuff with the Giant. The Savage Luger promo was intense. The Orndorff B-Bad match was good. Pillman and Flair was good. So 6 out of 10 seems right for this Nitro. I hope you guys are reliving the Monday Night Wars like I am, and if you're not, I hope you're enjoying the reviews. WCW is down 2-0 right now, but it's not going to stay like that. Spoiler, it's not going to stay like that for long. So tune in to the next week's Raw and Nitro review for Week 3, which will be Nitro Episode 4 and Raw Episode 128, I believe. So tune in for that. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.